Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Have you ever scrolled through the news and just felt overwhelmed by all the cyber threats out there?
Oh, absolutely. It's like trying to hold back a tidal wave with a sieve sometimes, right?
Exactly. So imagine being a CSO, responsible for an entire organization's cybersecurity. Today, we're diving into their world using a recent CSO online article, 10 Things CSOs Wished They Knew from the Start.
Sounds intriguing.
It's full of insights from seasoned pros. And whether you're considering this career path or just curious about what goes on behind the scenes, this deep dive is packed with practical wisdom. And to help us unpack these insights, we have our expert ready to share their expertise.
Happy to be here.
So one quote from the article really grabbed my attention, and it's a bit out there. Everybody has a plan until they're punched in the mouth.
Okay, is this a boxing podcast now?
I know, right? But trust me, this Mike Tyson wisdom, it's incredibly relevant to the life of a CISO. Think about it. You can have all the best security strategies in place, but then, bam, a new vulnerability emerges, or a sophisticated phishing attack hits your employees. Just like a boxer hit with an unexpected blow, your carefully crafted plan goes out the window and you're left scrambling.
It's true. That's the nature of the beast. You can't predict everything.
Exactly. And that's a common thread we see throughout this article. It's less about having a perfect, unbreakable plan and more about being able to adapt and make critical decisions under pressure.
Being able to think on your feet is crucial in this field, for sure.
And that's where Dmitry Chiklo's perspective really resonates. He's the CISO at B4.ai, and he emphasizes that it's less about sticking to a rigid plan and more about assessing situations on the fly. He even says, and I quote, "A superior process associated with weak technology is more effective than a weak process associated with superior technology." Now, I'm not a tech expert, so help me understand this a bit better. It sounds like he's saying that even if you have top-notch security tools, they won't save you if you don't have solid processes and the ability to adapt in real time. Is that right?
That's a great way to put it. It's like having a fire extinguisher, but not knowing where it is or how to use it when a fire breaks out.
Right. Your fancy tech is useless without the right processes in place.
Exactly. You need to know how to react effectively when things go sideways.
Absolutely. And John Terrell, he's the CISO at Phosphorus, he doesn't sugarcoat it either. He tells aspiring CISOs to, and I quote, "get comfortable being uncomfortable."
You know, that's actually pretty spot-on advice for anyone in a high-stakes role, right?
100%. But it makes you wonder, what are some of those unexpected challenges CISOs face? The article touched upon something that I found really interesting, something they called the boring stuff.
The boring stuff. What's that all about?
Well, it's easy to imagine a CISO's day filled with, thwarting sophisticated hackers, saving the world from cyber attacks, all that exciting stuff. But the reality, as always, is a bit different.
So it's not all Hollywood hacking montages.
Not quite. What they really emphasized was the importance of the day-to-day. You know, those routine tasks that often get overlooked.
I see, the nitty-gritty stuff.
Exactly. John Terrell actually compared it to, and I quote, "constantly sweeping the floors and taking out the trash to prevent larger messes from piling up."
That's a pretty relatable analogy. Even if it's not glamorous, keeping things clean prevents bigger issues down the line.
And Dmitry Chiklo, he calls it life cycle management. Might sound a bit technical, but it essentially boils down to ensuring those basic security hygiene practices are always in place.
Right, like making sure your software is up to date, having strong passwords, that sort of thing.
All of that. And the article really emphasized regularly testing your backup and restore systems, which, by the way, is crucial for minimizing those ransomware threats.
Oh, absolutely. You got to make sure those backups actually work when you need them. Yeah. Can't just set it and forget it.
And that really resonated with me. You know, it's like in our own lives, right? We might have all the latest gadgets and security systems for our homes, but if we forget to lock the front door, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Nope, not at all. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, as they say.
Exactly. So I'm curious, what are some of those other seemingly mundane tasks that CISOs need to prioritize to keep their organizations safe? It can't all be about, patching vulnerabilities and responding to incidents.
You're hitting the nail on the head there. It really is about building that strong foundation and maintaining that good cybersecurity hygiene.
Right, those everyday practices,
Right,
like making sure the software updates are applied, having those strong password policies, like that's the stuff that can actually make the biggest difference in a lot of cases.
Absolutely. It's the little things,
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's kind of like flossing, right? It's not always the most exciting task.
Right.
But if you neglect it...
Well, you're going to pay for it.
Exactly.
And
Speaking of things that are often overlooked, the article actually highlighted something that I think a lot of people can relate to, and it's communication.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically, how do you explain complex technical issues to people who might not be as tech savvy?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Right. And it reminded me, I don't know if you ever tried to explain like something technical to like a friend or family member who's not into tech and you can just see their eyes glazing over.
Oh, yeah, all the time?
It's like pulling teeth, right?
Absolutely.
Now imagine trying to do that with a room full of executives who are holding the purse strings to your cybersecurity budget.
Yeah, the stakes are a bit higher there.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so the experts in the article really stress the importance of ditching the jargon and finding ways to translate those technical complexities into something relatable and meaningful. Dmitry Chiklo actually cautioned against being overly technical, and he even said it could make you seem out of touch.
Interesting.
So instead of bombarding them with technical terms and all these statistics, what do you think are some more effective ways to get buy-in from leadership?
Well, one really effective strategy is to focus on the why behind security measures. Instead of just saying, we need to implement multi-factor authentication, you explain how it can protect the company's sensitive data and prevent financial losses.
Right, so they understand the why behind it.
Exactly. People are more likely to support something when they understand the reasons behind it and the potential consequences of not doing it.
That makes perfect sense. Don't just tell them what to do, but help them understand why it matters.
Exactly. And it's not just about avoiding the jargon, right? It's also about framing the information in a way that resonates with their priorities.
Right.
Renee Gutman, CISO Emeritus and founder of CISO Hive, had a great point about this. She said numbers are meaningless without context.
Okay, interesting.
So instead of just throwing out a statistic about, like, the number of phishing attacks blocked last month, connect that data to the potential impact on the company. Could it disrupt operations? Could it damage the brand's reputation? Suddenly, those numbers have real-world weight, and they're more likely to get attention.
Absolutely. You have to speak their language and show them how cybersecurity directly impacts their areas of responsibility.
100%.
Now, before we wrap up, I wanted to touch upon one last point that I found particularly insightful, and it's really about the human element of cybersecurity.
Okay.
The article shared a really interesting anecdote about a CISO who keeps a picture of their child on their desk.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know, right? And it might seem a little bit out of place, but they explain that it serves as a constant reminder of what truly matters.
That she is.
Protecting people.
Of course.
It's not just about safeguarding data and systems. It's about protecting people's livelihoods, their privacy, their peace of mind, all of that.
At the end of the day, that's what matters.
And that's really what resonated with me the most from this deep dive. It's a reminder that behind all the technical jargon, the firewalls, the incident response plans, cybersecurity, it's fundamentally about people.
It is, and it's about understanding the human impact of cybersecurity decisions and leading with empathy.
Right.
Building relationships, fostering trust, creating a collaborative environment. Those are all crucial for a CSO's success.
Yeah.
And Lee Britton, CSO of RallyQuest, he put it perfectly. He said, it's about influence, not power. The biggest mistake is thinking that sticks work better than carrots.
I love that. Influence over power, carrots over sticks, leading with empathy. It's such a powerful message, and it really does go beyond the world of cybersecurity.
It does. It applies to so many aspects of life.
Yeah, so true. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of CISOs. We covered a lot of ground today, from the importance of adaptability and clear communication to those unexpected challenges and the often overlooked boring stuff. But I think the biggest takeaway here is that while technical expertise is crucial, it's the human element, the ability to connect with people, build trust, inspire action. That's what truly sets apart a great CSO.
I completely agree.
So if you're interested in delving deeper into these insights from these seasoned pros, be sure to check out the full CSO online article. We'll have the link in the show notes.
Definitely worth a read.
And as always, stay curious, stay safe, and keep those firewalls strong.
Until next time.